To John Hunt. Thank you very much, Tim. Where do we start? At the beginning. I started collecting old tins and new tins about, several years ago, and built up quite a collection which I'm going to share with you this evening. Now, tins contain a variety of products from gunpowder to, where's the thing, to talcum powder. Right. Okay, so tin printing started in about mid-1800s, and one of the companies to do this research and printing was based in Reading. The company was Huntley, Bourne and Stephen. Now, coincidentally, there was another company which were interested in tins, and that was Huntley and Palmer Biscuits. And the same Huntley was in the original printing team. So they started printing novelty tins, and are still going as far as I'm concerned. Right, so the biscuit maker was one of the first companies to use tins. Now here is one of their original tins dating. Oh. That's it. Right, so that's 1890, that tin, containing biscuits. Sadly, it's not in great condition, but then it's pretty old. And the next tin is the same vintage, and again, it contained biscuits. That's really in a bad condition, but it's very nice to have such an unusual tin. It's very difficult to find. The next tin is another oldie, and in the bottom left-hand corner, you might be able to see it, is the date of the tin, 1905. Now, it's not very good condition. If it was in better condition, it would be worth quite a lot of money. But it's interesting. It's interesting where I got this tin from. I got it from a bag of rubbish. Our neighbours, they had died, that's right. And they had lived in this house for quite some time. They bought it when it was new in 1936. Anyway, their relations came to clear the house, and they were leaving black bags of rubbish in the front garden. Then they go home at night. Anyway, Julie and I decided we knew the people, we'd been to their home, and they collected everything, they never threw anything away. So we had a rummage in these black sacks. And we found this beautiful tin. Again, it's Huntley and Palmer's, in reasonable condition, but not the best of tins. But it's certainly a collector's piece. We're going to move on to the next tin. This tin here is George V, our sailor king. Now, I think it's something to do with the First World War, because it also features a general, a a General French, that's him there, and on the other sides there is Admiral Jellicoe and Earl Kitchener. Now, sourcing tins is a variety of ways you can do it. You can ask relations, because people use tins to store nails, screws, etc. Women use maybe tins, buttons and such forth. So find out if your relations have any tins. You might be surprised. I found many a tin like that. Now, this tin here is, I think, celebrates the Prince Edward becoming the Prince of Wales. It doesn't say anything on the tin, but as you can see, there's the Prince of Wales, which was Prince. And there's George V and his wife. The next tin is a money box tin from Rowntree's Toffee, dated about 1930s, I suppose. Rowntree's used quite a few tins. The next tin is a bucket tin with two characters. They were called the Cocoa Nibs. It's a rather odd name. It's not very catchy, really. Here they are again. There are lots of these tins kicking around, so and there are lots of shops in this area, lots of these antique centres have a quantity of tins. Some of them I think are rather overpriced. On one occasion I found a tin which I quite liked. It was £10 in one shop. I didn't buy it at the time, and a few weeks later I saw the same tin in another shop, and it had gone up by £10. So you can charge what you like, really, I think. Now, one of my favourite tins is the Cadbury's Roses. This is not a very good example. it's rusty in places, but I love the design, and that was around in the 1950s. Right. Now, Domino's. Now, Will's Woodbine, Will's factory was in Bristol, the cigarette people. They made those very thin, modestly priced cigarettes, and you could buy 5 in a paper packet. And I guess this was an incentive for publicans to sell as many Woodbine cigarettes as they could. And they got this tin of Domino's. Right. Another factory or company using tins was Oxo. And the very bottom one is a very early Oxo tin. Could be 1920s. And as you look at the tins and work upwards, you'll see that the lettering style does vary. Top tin is about 1960s, I believe. One way of roughly dating tins, is by the Royal Coat of Arms. It's quite a crude method, it's not precise, but that will give you a clue sometimes. Then there's a coat of arms at the top of that tin there. This is, as you can see, is George VI and his wife and the 2 princesses of one on each side. I think this was a commemorative tin for his coronation, but there's no lettering and it's just a storage tin. There's no indication of what product was inside, if there was any. Now, lots of modern stores make and produce and sell these storage cans here, like we've got Sainsbury's. Oh, that was designed by a special designer who specialises in tins. I can't think of his name at the moment. And there's the Harris Tin and Portland and Masons. This tin here is from Macintosh's, as you can see, about 1950s again. Macintosh's, the company, was bought up by Roundtree's eventually in the 1960s. And Macintosh's, their prime product, was the Quality Street selection. But you won't find their name on the tins of Quality Street these days, which is rather sad. Right, Tate & Lyle's had an anniversary in the 2008, their 125th anniversary. Even this tin now is getting a bit rusty underneath. Right, this tin is, again, it's the 1950s. It's a Cadbury's chocolate biscuits, and it has the royal coat of arms for Queen Mary. And you can date that to 1950. At the latest, it will be 1950. Moving on to a French tin. I don't know how I got this, but it's a very interesting. The graphics are interesting, very interesting. I think it's about 1950, and it contained a powdered chocolate drink. These three tins. These three tins. Oh, you've seen the two at the top. The one at the bottom here is Jacob's cream crackers, and it's fairly new. It's about 10 years old, I suppose. Came with a couple of drumsticks. The bus, the novelty bus. Ian Logan was the designer. He also designed that other tin I was describing just now. He specialised in designing tins, novelty tins. This one dates from about the 1980s. Now, this is another earlier tin, very rusty, sadly, and it's a money box, and it has a clock face, and it has some information about telling the time and encouraging children to save money in their box there. Here's a group of tins. There's Charlie and Dive celebrating their engagement. The one on the right is OXO cubes. Coronation Street for Coronation tin, rather, for Queen Elizabeth in 1953. And the lower one on the right here is, again, that's the Prince of Wales. That was from Thorne's Toffee. It contained Thorne's Toffee. Sometimes on the back of the tin, it does have the company's name. Also, and it's useful to look at the back of the tin. If it's bright and shiny, you know it's a newly printed tin, because they are now producing reproductions of these. collecting of tins is increasing, and so they're producing old tins. And new tins will have a shiny bottom, and old tins will have a very rusty bottom. So that's one guide to the age of the tin. We've got King Edward and Alexandra coronation tin of 1902. Fairly rusty, but still not too bad really. These top two tins from Pascal, that was a company that got swallowed up by a bigger company. These date back to the 1920s. You can see that by the graphics. They're in reasonable condition. And the one below is quite a unique Trebor tin. Trebor didn't use tins because they were quite an expensive way of selling sweets. Now, finally, we've got Pinocchio. Oh, we haven't got the name. Right, now. Okay, this is a Sharps tin from the 1950s. Sharps used loads of tins. They had to obviously pay a license fee for Pinocchio here, and they sold lots of tins in lots of toppings. Right. So that's the tins situation, and I'll take any questions from now. That's the end of the...
Fantastic. Thank you so much, John. That was a stunning collection of old tin cans. I love it.